All right, so are you ready to dive into this Meta Orion stuff?
Oh, yeah. I've been following this pretty closely. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, well, some people are saying that it's like, remember Google Glass?
Oh, yeah. Everyone thought that was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, and then it totally flopped.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this one comment on Reddit that was like, first Zuckerberg tries to sell us on the metaverse, and now he wants us to look like cyborgs.
Right. Like pick a lane, Mark.
Exactly. But this time it feels different, doesn't it? Like the technology is finally catching up with the hype.
I think that's right. And we've got a ton of articles, tech breakdowns, user reviews. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Okay, so let's try to break it down then. What's the big deal with these Orion glasses?
Mm.
Why is everyone so excited?
Well, Meta's not just trying to build some cool new gadget. They're talking about changing how we interact with computers altogether.
Okay, now you've got my attention. How so?
Think about it. Right now, we're stuck with these screens, right? Our phones, our laptops. They're barriers between us and the real world.
Yeah, I can't stand it when I'm out to dinner with friends and everyone's got their faces buried in their phones.
It's the worst. But with AR, with these Orion glasses, that all goes away. The digital world blends seamlessly with our real world experience.
Okay, I mean, that sounds pretty amazing in theory, but can they actually pull it off?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, because let's be real. Meta hasn't exactly been a shining beacon of hardware success.
Huh.
I mean, remember those phones they tried to launch a few years back?
Oh, yeah, how could we forget?
Total flop.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes them think they can succeed with AR glasses?
Well, for one thing, they've learned from their mistakes. This time, they're laser focused on AR. It's not just a side project.
Okay, so they're all in on AR, but why?
They're betting that AR is the future of computing, that it's going to be even bigger than smartphones.
Wow, bigger than smartphones, huh? That's a pretty bold prediction. Okay, it's bigger than smartphones. I mean, I get it. The idea of like having information and experiences literally right in front of your eyes, that's pretty mind-blowing.
And it's not just about the information, it's about the way we interact with it.
Okay, so like how? What's so different about Orion?
Well, for starters, have you seen the design? Those early photos of Zuck wearing them, yikes. Right?
Yeah, not a good look.
But the actual design, it's sleek, it's compact, especially compared to those clunky VR headsets.
Okay, so they're not going for the whole cyberpunk look anymore.
No, they've definitely learned their lesson there. They're going for something that people will actually want to wear.
Because who wants to look like they're walking around with a computer strapped to their face?
Exactly. And with Orion, they've managed to pack in some serious tech without sacrificing the design.
Okay, so we're talking sleek design, but what about the actual specs? What can these things do?
Well, for one thing, they're completely wireless. No wires, no external packs, it's all self-contained.
Wait, seriously, all that processing power in something that small?
That's the beauty of it, and it gets even better. The field of view is incredible compared to something like Snap Spectacles, which have a field of view of what, like 46 degrees?
Yeah, something like that.
Orion has a 70-degree field of view. It's a much more immersive experience.
Okay, that's a pretty big difference.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's less like looking through a tiny window and more like having the AR world layered directly onto your own.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, that does sound impressive, but what really has me curious is this whole neural interface thing. They're saying you can control these glasses with your mind.
Well, not exactly with your mind, but close. It uses something called electromyography, or EMG. Basically, it reads the electrical signals your muscles produce when you move.
So it's like, I'm not actually thinking open app, but my brain is telling my muscles to twitch in a way that the band picks up as a command.
Exactly. It's like a direct line from your brain to the device, bypassing the whole physical movement thing.
Okay, that is both incredibly cool and slightly terrifying at the same time. Like, how much control are we talking about here? Can I, like, accidentally open Spotify just by scratching my nose? That's what I'm wondering. What if I accidentally like my ex's vacation photos just because I sneezed?
I mean, there's definitely going to be a learning curve.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like rewiring your brain.
It's like when touchscreens first came out, people thought it was the weirdest thing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to touch the screen?
Exactly, but now we do it without even thinking. It's second nature.
That's true.
Hmm.
But this feels different, right? I mean, with touchscreens, it's just our fingers.
Mm.
Now we're talking about something that can read our muscle movements, our intentions, even before we act on them.
Yeah, it's a whole other level, isn't it? And that's
Yeah.
what makes it so fascinating, but also a little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Like 1 minute you're swiping through Instagram with your mind, and the next thing you know, Meta's reading your deepest thoughts and selling them to the highest bidder. Some people on Reddit are already calling them a spy agency.
Well, Let's not jump to conclusions. But it is something to think about, for sure.
Hmm.
The potential for misuse is definitely there.
Okay, so we've got amazing potential, but also some valid concerns. How does Meta address that?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because they're going to have to address these concerns if they want Orion to be successful.
Right, because it's one thing to have cool tech, but it's another thing to get people to actually buy it, use it, let alone want to wear it on their faces.
Exactly. They're going to have to be very transparent with users about how this technology works, about what data it's collecting and how it's being used.
And what about security? I mean, what's stopping someone from hacking into these glasses and basically taking over my entire digital life?
Yeah, that's a big one. They're going to need to build in some serious security features, maybe even partner with cybersecurity experts.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is, and we've only just scratched the surface. I mean, think about the implications for accessibility, for education, for healthcare.
It's mind-blowing when you really start to think about it.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
And a little bit scary. It's like, are we ready for a world where technology is so integrated into our lives?
I don't know, are we? I guess that's a question we're all going to have to answer for ourselves. But one thing's for sure. The future is looking very interesting. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Meta's Orion glasses. Don't forget to share your thoughts with us on social media. We want to know, are you excited about this neural future, or are you a little bit terrified? Let's keep the conversation going.